Hello, everyone. Welcome to this week's episode of Star Watch, which is a weekly astrological transit report. For those of you who are new here, my name is Jane. So as I look forward for the upcoming week, there are some really, really cool things coming out. Now, actually, this reading, I'm going to make a lot of recommendations. Now, you don't have to take them. Okay, obviously, you can make your own decisions in life, but you don't have to take them. But I am going to make a lot of recommendations because I feel like something is starting to swell, okay? Specifically on an individual level, there's been a lot of desire as Jupiter has come into this square with Pluto and now also Mars. We have this T-square going on, and we've been feeling that build up for the past couple of weeks. I haven't mentioned it too much, but I've definitely noticed it. Okay, in my own life and with people that I'm talking to, there's been a swelling of desire. And the thing about Jupiter in Taurus is there's a lot of determination to bring things into reality. As we know, the motto for Taurus is I have. So this is about putting your hands on it, putting it in your pockets, depositing it in your bank accounts, buying it, having it, touching it, feeling it, enjoying it, right? This is about the actual physical experience. That's one thing I really like about earth signs is it's not all in the mental or emotional or spiritual realm. It's like in the here and now, and it can be really a little, I'll say easy, quote unquote. It can be easy to be present when we have a lot of earth activation. I think Jupiter coming into Taurus really amplifies the earth energy that we've been really, really needing. And because it's Taurus versus Capricorn, it's a little bit easier. It's a little bit more stable. It's definitely slower moving. It's more controllable. And as we have this swell of desire that's been creeping up, now this might bring up old stuff. And I mentioned that with the Mercury retrograde as well. Some people may have had old ideas resurface or resurrect. Other people may have completely brand new paths that they never in a million years thought they would consider. And now all of a sudden, it's like the option that is front and center in their lives. It just feels like there's just something we got to do. And we don't necessarily know why. We don't necessarily know how we're going to do it, where the resource is going to come from, but it's just something that we need to do. Now, this is where I begin the recommendation portion of the reading, okay? So between now and, let's say, the 20th, 21st, okay? 20th, Mars comes into Leo. The 21st, the sun comes into Gemini. So we have like 3-4 days ahead of us. The moon is making her way into a new moon in Taurus. And of course, we love moon energy in Taurus because it's a little bit more domestic. It's a little quieter. Yes, there can be an element of hard work, but it's not like a really pronounced theme in our lives. And I think this is a fantastic time to just allow yourself to be. And to not push, unless, of course, I know you guys have jobs and kids and everything, and I know there are demands, but as much as you can, I would just kind of go with the flow. And I say that, I know that sounds a little trite. Sometimes we tell ourselves that, but it's hard to do. But I think this is a good time to actually do it, where we are supported a little bit more with going with the flow. Because as the moon makes her way through Gemini and on in through Cancer, sometimes I feel like Gemini and Cancer really are the signs that change everything. More so than any other signs. These are the signs where we change our mind or where our heart just suddenly starts to call for something, and we don't really have a lot of control over that type of stuff. So we have to kind of prepare for this period of changeability as we prepare for Gemini season. And this moon is a really great way to just declare your openness and your readiness and your willingness to change course. Because the desire that has been, Mars and Pluto are the two rulers of Scorpio. And then we have Jupiter coming in and amplifying or magnifying everything. sometimes we can logic our way away from these things, and we can say, you know, my heart is saying this, but I also know I gotta go to work and I gotta stay focused and I don't want to get sidetracked. And there's a time and place for the focus and the discipline. I don't really know that now is the time. I think if you suppress the yearnings and the urges that you're feeling right now, I'm not saying you're gonna like regret anything, but it's gonna be an aspect of life that I think you'll be sad that you missed out on. You know, again, not like full on regret, but this is something that you're going to want to explore, something you're going to want to try or experiment with. Can I guarantee that it will work out? Definitely not. I can't guarantee it, but that's not the point. It's not about whether or not it's going to work out. It's not about whether or not it's going to become your new livelihood or it's going to become your new job. This is about who you become in pursuit of doing that thing. Okay? And this new moon, again, so beautiful and has the potential to really open us up. We have such wonderful aspects with this moon. It's happening at 28 degrees. Let me get the chart a little closer. Okay, technically I don't have the time set, but here's the sun at 28 degrees on the 19th, mid-afternoon in the US. It's in aspect here with Neptune, positive aspect. It is in aspect with Pluto, another positive aspect with this trine, and it is in aspect with Mars as well, another positive sextile. Okay, so Neptune here is asking us to open, and when we open these gates within us to receive, here comes Mars and Pluto pushing something substantial through. I wouldn't be surprised if a lot of people who actually took this seriously and who actually really sat down and said, what is coming up inside of me right now? Because if you're feeling swayed, or if you're feeling distracted, or if you're feeling like really unfocused with things, chances are that non-committalness is making space for something, right? So if you sit down and really ask yourself, what is truly surfacing? And what is it you want to try? What is it you want to learn? What is it that you want to explore? It could take you on an entirely new adventure. It has the potential to completely change your life. So as we're sitting here over the next few days, preparing for this new moon and preparing for the transition of Mars and the sun coming into these masculine signs, okay, we've got the sun in Gemini, Mars in Leo. And I always say that Gemini and Leo are like some of the most creative zodiac signs. Now, I don't mean like creative people. I mean the archetypes stimulate the most creativity within us. Okay, Gemini stimulates the mind, the ideas, and we learn a lot about things through other people's experiences. We can read a lot, we can collect a lot of information, we can research, and we can there's like a wide breadth within Gemini. And then with Mars, this is when we create. So there's a learning and collection component with Gemini, but there's an application component with Mars in Leo, and an application component with Leo, and we're going to have Mars there, so that active warrior energy is really going to want to apply. Okay, so we kind of have to understand that we're sort of stepping into this more masculine realm right now, when our two really potent masculine planets are moving into masculine signs. It's really hard. The thing about having Mars and Mars and the sun in feminine signs is it does kind of cool them down a little bit. It can slow them down. It doesn't make them completely disappear, but it helps them to be a little bit more structured and a little bit more well thought out and whatnot. But when you throw them into masculine signs, fire and air, it can be an explosive kind of combination. And it's possible that many of you, once we get in, next week and the week following, as we make our way into Gemini, and then eventually Mercury will join as well, there's going to be a part of you that wants to just run. You just want to go. But Jupiter in Taurus isn't going to let you sacrifice the stability. Stability is going to be really important. So because you have that beautiful balance of creation and stability, this to me feels a little bit like a golden ticket, okay? Because you're not going to completely screw up your life. You're not going to completely throw everything apart. You're going to take actions in new directions, but you're going to do so in a way that is beneficial for you and all the people that you love. So just something to think about. Okay, just something to think about. And as we have Venus still here in Cancer, she's starting to come into this square with Chiron, and with her last connection with Chiron was back here in Aries season, so several months ago, and I think it was before Aries season, I'm sorry. It was, I don't know how many months ago. It was a few months ago. And she is now sort of, I think, leveraging and utilizing her intuition in a really powerful way so she doesn't get caught in that trap of wounding. And we're not allowing ourselves to get caught in that trap of using our trauma and using our pain as an excuse not to follow our dreams. I think Jupiter in Taurus is one of the best follow your dreams placement. If you have Jupiter in Taurus, I think that's, genuinely one of the greatest blessings. I'm not saying your life is perfect by any means, but there's a lot of really beautiful things that can happen. I think a Jupiter in Taurus is someone that can experience the extravagance of manifestation. They can manifest things quickly. This is a time where we can manifest things quickly to a degree, not like boom, 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 but it's like we set the intention, and the focus can be so focused and it can be so relaxed that it just comes a lot easier. There's not a lot of stress with a Jupiter in Taurus, and generally speaking, there's not a lot of stress. There's not a lot of strain. There's not a lot of like forcing will upon things. We just sort of set the goal and we go and we do it and we accomplish it and we get it. It's all really straightforward. So the recommendation here really is centered around the new moon, which is about creating space. All right, so relax, enjoy, because once we hit Gemini season, we've got that activation there officially on the 21st. That's when everything will be finally moving, the sun and Mars specifically. And then Mars is going to come to that exact square, and then he's going to start opposition. Then he'll start coming off of that opposition with Pluto. And to me, that feels like all systems go. So you're going to have a clear shot in front of you. You're going to have a wide open door to go do something or to make something happen. I am not guaranteeing you are going to get the result that you are hoping for or want, although there's a lot of positive inclinations toward that. Not guaranteeing it, but it's not about what you're going to get so much as it is who you are going to become because you went after it. Okay? It is a beautiful week. All right? Thank you guys so much. I love you. Have a good one. Take care.